Recovering from patellar tendinopathy or tendonitis involves two main factors: relative rest as opposed to complete rest, and a structured strengthening program. The evidence is very clear that this is your best approach. Anything else you try, shockwave therapy, PRP injections, massage, medications, taping, they're the 1% add-ons. But if this is troubling you, you need to reduce the intensity of your activities to avoid continuing to hurt it, and employ an approximately 12-week structured strengthening program. Sometimes it doesn't take as long as that, but if it's very troublesome, it can also take a little bit longer. In this video, we're going to demonstrate 10 key exercises you need to do to help this issue, which are commonly prescribed here in clinic, and in them I'll explain what you should be feeling, how to make some of these exercises slightly easier, more challenging. When your tendon is quite sore, certain exercises will help that, but obviously they need to be progressed as your pain improves and your tendon can tolerate more stress. Remember, no program in the world will help if you continue annoying it in your training, but if you understand that, let's get straight into the exercises. So a very useful first exercise you can do to try and help with the patella tendon is to get muscle activity into your quad here without making the tendon too sore. So this is an option we're going to look at. You're lying on your back and you're going to push this part of your foot up into the bottom of the chair. So if you just rest your other leg on top and you apply upward pressure with that part of your foot and you're just relaxed here, I can feel quad activity here. I'm going to hold that for about, let's say starting off, we might go for 10 seconds and take a break. Now, it actually looks easier than it is, and it does become a little bit fatiguing, so 10 seconds I think is plenty. Take a break for yourself, and again, upward pressure with the top of your foot pushed into the chair. And again, feeling all the muscle activity here. So you might do 10 seconds of that and do anything from 6 to 10 reps, whatever you're capable of. So this exercise is called the reverse lunge hold. And again, it's an isometric exercise where in it, we're trying to get muscle activity into your quad without irritating your knee. So what you're going to do is step back with the other foot. Let your hands fall here at your knee. Bring your chest up the way so you're looking straight ahead of you. And in this position here, what you're trying to do is have minimal pressure through the back leg. Like there's hardly any pressure there going through the back foot. And I can feel muscle activity here. As you go on, you're trying to stay relaxed everywhere. You're realizing this is where I want you to feel it. So you're trying to breathe and relax and get the muscle activity here and hold it in this position. Now, the one way you could irritate your knee is if you drive this knee forward like that, too early. So you're stepping back far enough, chest is up, minimal pressure to the back leg, relax, and again, feeling the work here, and just hold it in that position. So the Swiss ball squat and hold is again an effective exercise for you to increase the muscle activity in your quad, which can help reduce the pain in your knee, but it's also helping improve the tendon's capacity to cope with load. So what you're going to do is have your feet about hip width apart, put the Swiss ball in the small of your back here. It's an advanced version of a wall sit. A wall sit is fine, but if you want to move on from that, then this is a good option to do. So I'm sitting back into the ball and I'm going down as far as I can and all the way up. Applying a little bit of pressure backwards into the ball here and downwards through my feet. And I do that for maybe, let's say we do 5 to 10 repetitions. And after 5 to 10 repetitions, I hold it in this position here, where my hips are just above knee height. I have downward intent through my feet and a little bit of pressure back the way into the ball. And as I'm staying relaxed here, I can feel muscle activity here. Now again, the only way you could sort of annoy your knee is if you have your feet too far back and your knee is being driven over your toes too early. It's fine if you don't have sore knees, but not in this position. So to start off, just make sure you have your knees pretty much over your ankles, sitting back in the ball, holding it here for about 10 seconds, And then you're going to repeat that maybe 2 to 4 rounds of that, and that would be your set. So you go back into it again, up and down for 5. And hold. So this exercise is a dumbbell reverse lunge, but it starts off with a hold where you get to feel muscle activity in your quad, and then after about 10 seconds you go into a reverse lunge, which I'll show you here. So the starting position, if it's my left leg that I'm working, keep that there, step back far with the other leg, get both hands right beside your knee, look straight ahead of you. If you see my back foot here, there's hardly any pressure going down through your back foot. So you have to get that right. Hold it here, look straight ahead, and I can feel muscle activity into my quad, here my left leg. Hold it for 10 to 15 seconds. And then from that position, downward intent through your left foot. Stand tall, step back. So you're going into a reverse lunge. The dumbbells come down beside the knee, downward intent with your foot into the ground. The Spanish squat and hold, if you've progressed through other exercises and you're able for it, this is a very effective exercise in patella tendon rehab. So Aaron is going to demonstrate it here. You have this in behind your knees and you walk back to the point where you feel you're fully supported to be able to sit all the way down. So Aaron is going to start with 5 deep squats, where he's going as deep as he can cope with and all the way back up. And after 5 squats, he's going to hold it in this position. If you need to balance it better, you can reach your arms forward, but you can see here, hips are just above knee height and you feel a lot of muscle activity here. And let's repeat that again. All the way down and all the way up. So what you might do is maybe 5 squats, hold for 5 to 10 seconds and repeat that 3 times. And that would be your set. And what you should feel here is a lot of muscle activity in the quad with minimal discomfort in your patella tendon. In terms of overcoming a patella tendon injury, you have to get to lift heavy things slowly. So that's what we're going to do with this trap bar deadlift here. The trap bar has a little bit more quad work than the straight bar, which gets more of the posterior chain. So for hamstrings that will be more useful. But in this case, if you have the option, we're going to choose the trap bar. So again, have your feet about hip width apart. Grip here. Take all the slack out of the bar. Looking straight ahead of you. And from this position, you're doing 2 things. Pushing your feet down into the ground and you're going to push your hips forward. And what we're going to do here is come down a little slower on the way down. Reset. So the Bulgarian split squat has lots of different names, but I'm going to demonstrate this exercise here, where this exercise will be too much if you had a highly sensitized and sore tendon, but if you have progressed through the rehab and you're able for it, this is an excellent one to be able to move on to. So if I'm working my left leg here, put my other foot behind me, and the key is have very little pressure through your back foot. Start with the dumbbells here beside the knee, and what you're doing is going down, push your feet into the ground, push your front foot into the ground with real intent. So all the work is being done by this front leg. So if you want to get back playing any sort of sport or running, you have to work your tendon in dynamic movements as part of the recovery process. Using plyometric exercises has to be part of that rehab, and there are loads of different options. I'm going to go through a few simple ones here which are very effective. So one you might do is having your hands on your hips. What you're doing is you're going onto the ball of your foot, and there's minimal contact with your feet on the ground. So imagine the ground is hot and you want to get off the ground very, very quickly. There's not going to be a lot of movement through the knees, so your knees are going to be relatively stiff. Stiff foot, stiff ankle, stay nice and tall. And you might do sets of 20 there. Another option to move on to is this one here. And then as you make progress, you do need to be able to do single leg for say 20 reps. So that would be here. And you need to be able to cope with that sort of stress through your leg and through your knee. So coming towards the end stage of patella tendon rehab, being able to do a dumbbell lunge is important. What we're going to do is put extra stress through the knee by bringing the dumbbells down in front of your knee. So what you're doing is stepping forward, and from there, pushing back with intent through your front foot. So both dumbbells come down in front of the knee and push yourself away from the ground. The single leg squat exercise is very effective, especially later on in the patella tendon rehab journey. So standing in this position, slowly lower yourself down. Let your hips rest on the chair, on the bench. Push down through your foot. Stand up tall. And again, slightly slower on the way down. You might do anything from 8 to 20 reps, depending on what you're able for. And a good marker to have is you certainly need to be able to do the same amount on one leg as you can on the other leg.